Here I am as a kid. Now I'm a washed-up pro snowboarder, dad, and curious food nerd, hell-bent on new adventures. I'm Josh Rosen. Food and adventure have led me to some of the most interesting places. So we're off to travel and gather local ingredients, all while taking it in through the lens of the locals. And each adventure ends with a feast. This is Dirt. We've crossed the Atlantic to the place that inspired James Joyce, Samuel Beckett, and the Kingdom of Westeros. A land of 30,000 castles. And the one and only Enya. Welcome to the island of Ireland. We're starting our adventure in the Boyne Valley, just north of Dublin.
So what did you say was growing over there?
Barley.
And it's all for beer.
Impossibly green and lush, and named after the lowland river that feeds it for 70 miles, the Boyne Valley is a world-class breadbasket. Our fishing hole's half a mile down from Newgrange, ruins that predate the pyramids. A little perspective for a few jet-lagged Americans. This bend in the river's also home to the salmon of knowledge. Catch this mythic fish and gain all the world's wisdom. All we caught were these two wise asses. Now let's meet our chef for this episode, Keith Coleman.
Growing up as a kid, my dad was a carpenter. I always thought like you just did what your dad did. And so from a young age, I was always using my hands. Everything was like really tactile. So I think that's the thing I enjoy the most about cooking.
Keith started his career in Dublin. He juggled fire at Michelin-starred restaurants and returned here to remember what he loves about food.
Getting to go and visit farms or visit producers, like just getting your hands in the dirt, I suppose. The feel, the smell, like touch of everything.
So this broccoli is ready for harvest?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So see the way there's like the lines? I would take like two and I'd walk down the middle and then you can go over into the next ones.
Keith is a hands-on kind of person, and that led him to working full-time at this farm where he connected with the ingredients that inspire him in his kitchen.
It's so funny, like there's always these certain questions that you really hate being asked. And it's like if a journalist gets onto you and it's like, in your opinion, what's Irish food? And it's like, I couldn't be more uninterested in that question, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Keith's desire to get his hands dirty in this area's rich soil always comes out in the food he cooks. He has a serious case of lore of the land, as the Irish call it.
There's a real pride for the produce in Ireland, like the sort of fundamental quality of what we do. I'd rather spend a lot of my time trying to source the best ingredients I can and creating those connections between myself, the purveyors, and then onto the customer. Like, it's not rocket science, like you're just cooking good food.
Right.
And when you're sourcing the best ingredients, you get excited about it and you actually want to share that with people as opposed to making it an exclusive thing. Is that okay?
Cool.
Okay, great. Yeah, Irish people aren't very comfortable on camera.
Is there such a thing as Irish food? What makes it Irish? Irish ingredients? An Irish chef? We'll start with the people to find our answer. And we're off. We'll see Keith again at the end of this journey, but now to the southwest corner of Ireland, the legendary land of makers and doers, and a damn right spectacular coastline.
So I just butter the bread.
A+ to the welcoming committee.
Welcome to Westport. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having us.
But there was the three original farmhouse cheeses were Malines, Durris, and Gabine.
And by farmhouse cheese, you mean to this region or to
Ireland? To
Ireland?
To Ireland. I mean, what's interesting is that the Irish monks actually a huge role of why we have cheese. I mean, that's going way back.
Yeah.
So the Irish monks actually documented cheese making. And then you have this big gap in Irish history, you know, the not so nice times. And then you have this kind of re-emergence when the artisan side of things really kicked off. And this part of Ireland really is full of a lot of people who came to settle and live down here. It was kind of around the Cold Wars, after the 60s, and it's this influx of people coming to live here, and that led to this creativity.
A community of global influencers led to the almost unbelievable bounty of today, and the Ferguson family were a huge part of this movement. This celebrated cheese came about thanks to Fingal's mother Gianna's cheesemaking childhood in Spain.
So persistence is the backbone, I think, of Gabine, and how the brand name kind of even came about. It's just literally my parents constantly sticking at it.
The way fed animals naturally evolved into a gourmet meat smoking business. With all the meat and cheese to cut, Fingal was inspired to make tools. His knives have a cult following amongst chefs around the world. That one's mine.
85% of all the artisan producers in Ireland were from this part of the country. But what happens is that slowly spread around the country. This formula works, and that was a beautiful thing to see. Here's the cheese.
Yeah.
Here's the cooking chorizo, the fresh chorizo, and we have the sharpened point.
Beautiful. Fingal, thank you so much.
Just up the road is a friend of the Fergusons since the 70s.
Welcome. Good to meet you.
A local whose wild smoked fish is known all over Ireland.
Like that. Oh God, did you get it? These are still cold,
Okay.
but if you masticate it.
I'll masticate a little bit. I love to masticate.
I like masticating. Go on. Mastication. This is how it works in West Cork. It's great. You know, people that I supply locally would be supplying other shops, so I'd give them my goods to go to other shops.
Right.
It's brilliant. Yeah, yeah.
But this passion for making and doing soon spread to the rest of Ireland, where independence and ingenuity are very much in the country's DNA. On our way out of West Cork, we gather seaweed,
We're looking at channeled rack.
an Irish staple that sustained coastal populations during the Hunger Years.
Lives in West Cork as well.
A quick dip in the Celtic Sea, while we roast it up on an old washing machine drum, made into a barbecue.
Oh, God.
This is a Viagra seaweed.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Onward, to find the folks furthering the food movement in the rest of Ireland. This is the furthest west you can go in Europe, and was the filming location for Star Wars. Come here, you must. No?
Oh, he's getting deep.
This is for chef.
The Dingle Peninsula was called the most beautiful place on Earth by National Geographic, and they weren't wrong. Life happens to some people, and it did so for Adrian. 15 years ago, she was left with a pug at the end of the road.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
no problem. You're very welcome. You brought the sun. I'm exhausted. I need a beer.
Yeah, that's the golden ale?
This is the golden ale. It's my after work beer. Like, you know, come 4 o'clock, thirst is usually descending upon me.
Can we see inside the brewery?
Yes, you can.
Make some beer?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about that time of day.
It certainly is.
We're in Tigbrick, otherwise known as Brick's Pub. It's home to the West Kerry Brewery, or Bjor Corcaguina. Everything here is bilingual because we're on the Gaeltacht of the Dingle Peninsula. What we primarily do is brew beer.
Okay, it's looking good. So what's going on is we're sparging the barley, extracting the liquid, which is called wort, which is going to go on and make the beer.
Okay.
And what we're doing, the sparge is showering it with warm water,
Okay.
ensuring that every ounce of sugar possible is going to be extracted.
Pulled out.
So it's going to take a few hours. And the reason we do it so slowly is because imagine it was a soft fruit.
Okay.
Imagine it was a strawberry or a tomato. How would you handle that?
Yeah, I see.
Gen-
Gently. Yeah.
That's what we're doing. As I was saying it, I was going, yeah, I must get some out. Let me get some in a glass.
Brewer's breakfast?
Brewer's breakfast.
Yeah, it smells almost like a breakfast cereal.
Yes.
Grape nuts. Grape nuts.
Okay. Weetabix, that's right.
Weetabix. That's incredible.
It's really sweet, it's warming.
I'm sort of surprised that that's not its own drink.
Hops are added, fermented, then bottled one at a time.
This is the chief labeler.
Yeah.
And my mama. Nora, she's Nora. She has her own name.
Life in the North Atlantic isn't always gentle, but Adrienne has used her sculptor's hands to elevate the ancient craft of brewing, as well as the simple, graceful art in serving others.
It's just boiled eggs, little salmon.
I definitely think that something that COVID has done for the entire planet actually is made us all realize how connectivity is important.
Right.
It's the most important thing is connecting with fellow human beings.
Sure.
And we just all need it.
Human connection, a basic human need the Irish haven't seemed to have lost sight of. We're headed north on the Wild Atlantic Way. Halfway up the coast, we're starting to get it. By American standards, Ireland is tiny, but it's full of endless green pastures, lively pubs, fresh air, cliff jumps around every bend, and lambs. So many baby lambs.
Okay, I'm still looking at it. This is the Lahinch Golf Course. Right, you're on the 6th tee, and it goes out to sea. Stay down, Josh, you gotta get a little bit of the ground. No.
Lower.
Yeah. No. Hit the ground. Yeah! Ah, yeah, that's okay.
Huey's been caddying here since he was
Okay.
6. That's
Not bad.
65 years. How many of us will ever even dream of this level of professional continuity?
Get on your back foot. Yeah. Now into the sand and follow through.
Into the sand and follow through. Got it.
Don't
okay.
stop at the ball, you gotta go through. Yes.
That was luck.
You might get another chance, hang on.
Yeah. Come on, buddy.
Tappy tap. Go to your home.
This port town was once invaded by Vikings. Now Galway hosts 112 festivals annually and was named one of the sexiest cities in the world. It's had quite the renaissance.
Hi, Josh.
Jess, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so my father-in-law, John, who's from Carlow, he's Irish, used to go into the garage and have a pint together. And he just looked at me, he put his pint down, and he just looked at me and he goes, Jess, Ireland's a great place to live if you're odd.
You put down your pint and you packed your
then
bags.
we both agreed, and then we moved to Ireland.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so this is our little neighbourhood.
Jess left New Zealand for Galway 18 years ago, drawn to the jagged coast and welcoming people. She owns 2 stellar spots, Happy Bakery and Kai Restaurant, which has a Michelin star.
Why Galway? Because it's the most beautiful bohemian city in the whole island of Ireland. Also, it's a lovely place to be accepted. Yeah, they accept you for who you are.
Jess is the unofficial mayor of these quirky East Galway shopkeepers, all masters of their own craft. Anne hand selects each knitter for her shop. Every stitch tells a story.
It's a very evocative stitch.
Sure.
And it's very inspiring. It was a case of sit and just knit beside your mother.
Sit and knit and figure it out.
Blackberry stitch, my personal favorite.
So May is the medicinal butter month.
Because of what the cows have eaten?
Because the cows are released on the fields and stuff like that, and so they're eating dandelions and all the really strong herbs for their livers.
So antibacterial, antimicrobial sort of stuff?
That's it. All that scientist big word stuff that you should be eating.
Sure.
Biophilus,
right.
in your stomach is in here already. Okay, so you kind of see the fat particles?
Yeah.
Yep.
You are what you eat, or you are what the thing that you're eating ate.
Yeah, 100%.
Irish dairy is famous the world over for its nutritional profile, courtesy of the cows that feed on the lush green grass all year long.
Oh my God, look at your garnishing. You're pretty like 1996 over there.
I'm a very 90s garnisher.
It is no surprise that the Irish have a patron saint of dairy, Saint Bridget, or that cows were once used as currency. Many farmhouse cheeses are the size of a woman's palm, an homage to the women who revolutionized the food movement of West Cork back in the 70s. One of Jess's favorite day trips is to the moon-like limestone Aran Islands in Galway Bay. Scrappy locals have been harvesting nutrient-rich seaweed and mixing it with sand for centuries so they could farm this rocky outpost. Also, what could be one of the best natural cliff jumping spots I've ever seen. I can still taste that gainer that never was.
Jess, where are we?
Okay, so we're right in the middle of Galway Bay, and we're going to go and pick up some traps. Okay. So we've got Connemara to the right of you, and we've got Inishmore to the left.
Okay.
Hankering for the freshest crustaceans, we're meeting up with one of Jess's restaurant suppliers.
What's your connection to this fishery?
Like anything in the west of Ireland, my connection was I got a phone call on the landline in the restaurant, and it was Neve from the Aran Islands, and from then on it was just boom. Do you want to buy some crab? Yeah. You know, and that's how all relationships start. So like my whole 18 years of working in Galway, all my suppliers have always developed from that.
Jess has made waves in Galway, with nearly 300 local purveyors supplying ingredients for her restaurants. She sends us north to Connemara to connect with a few.
Nice to meet you.
Josh, welcome to Kilcullen.
On each of these lines, we hang out about 1,000 of these, and the mussel that's growing on the shore, it's a spawn.
A land of bogs, sea and sky. People around here say that nobody knows where Connemara begins or ends, but you always know when you're here. Land to food, food to people, people to tradition. I've never been in a place where they're all so interconnected. Irish hospitality is no joke.
John,
Nice to meet you.
Every stop we made, we were pulled into a house or cottage for a home-cooked meal and welcomed with open arms.
Where are we headed?
We're going to go and see some cattle. Come on in, guys.
Like everything in Ireland, wildly picturesque.
The Greeks had the Iliad.
Yeah.
We had on Tán Bo Cuaige. And our mythology, the greatest story with all our big heroes going back to the Iron Age, was a cattle raid. It was an argument over cows. The beef has a salty, caramely taste.
Beautiful. Josh.
Lewis, nice to meet you.
This coast has inspired literary titans for hundreds of years. More recently, surfers. We're here to visit one of Ireland's best big wave surfers, Céin Kilcullen. He was also the first guy to surf the waves of this seaside town. On this early spring evening, the swell was little and fun. Céin welcomed the crew with boards and wetsuits and a few dolphins. Using whatever Mother Nature provides is the Irish MO. For the Kilcullen family, it was the relaxing and medicinal benefits of bathing in seaweed that saw them open their doors in 1912. And Kilcullen Seaweed Baths is still going strong 111 years later. Seaweed is steamed and poured into traditional porcelain tubs of boiling salty seawater. You're left to sauna, soak, and embrace your inner merman. As the great Irish poet Yeats said, there are no strangers here, only friends you haven't met yet. Yates was a Sligo man. I bet he was also a seaweed bath guy. Upward, into Northern Ireland.
This is my old friend here, come fishing with me here. She's nearly past the stage now fishing, she's semi-retired. See, that's going back into that line and bucket again. Takes 2.5, 3 hours setting, and then 2.5, 3 hours lifting. You know, so you can see the focus involved in it, and that's why your reel is so expensive when you get them at the top end.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going? Josh. We'll see if we get you a mermaid too, maybe.
We're here at the largest lake in Ireland to catch a species that migrated from the Sargasso Sea, 3,500 miles away. 250 hooks, hand-tied to a mile-long line, weighted with rocks. Lines are set each night and pulled up at dawn. Eel fishing on this lake dates back to the Bronze Age. That's 5,000 years ago. The process hasn't changed much.
Want to lift a bit of it yourself?
Yeah, I'd love that.
Here. You tear away. I ain't cutting your finger.
Got it.
Right, just you keep pulling. Can you feel any tugging on it?
Yeah, feels like something.
That's a stone there.
That's the stone, yeah. How does this not turn into a total tangled mess?
Swing him right. Ice, go ahead, swing him right.
Yeah.
You will get ease that length there, like. Different things. There's one boat over the under. You can see it on the rise here in front of you there.
50 years ago, when Jerry started eel fishing, there were hundreds of boats out on the lake. This was opening day of eel season, and there was only one other. Jerry's son Daniel is one of the few youngins carrying on this ancient tradition. All right, if you insist, we'll stay for breakfast. Irish traditions run deep. Our next stop is the Mourne Mountains, a popular smuggling route during the Napoleonic Wars. This carriage house is home to a spirited reboot of an ancient beverage, poutine, aka whiskey's mummy. Poutine means little pot, and Brendan Carty still distills his in handcrafted worm tub pots with local oats and barley and flame-fed heating. It's a taste of the Mournes.
I'm Josh. Nice to meet you.
Some traditions aren't Irish at all, but who doesn't like perfect artisanal chocolate? Arriving in Belfast, we're instantly aware of the colorful murals all over the city and a hopeful, creative vibe that exists here. This place is ready for its close-up. One last stop in a park outside the city, and then it's back to the Boyne Valley we go.
I think people are scared of them.
They are. They're terrified of them. Ideally, you wear gloves. But I'm rarely prepared, I have to say, which is what foraging is like, isn't it?
Yeah.
You kind of discover things. But if I'm picking nettles to eat as a green, as a leaf, like this, I only pick these top 4.
And the young bit at the top, will they have the stinging pieces?
They will.
Okay, so you just have like asbestos.
Yeah, well, they say if you pick with confidence, so pick with confidence and you can avoid the...
I mean, I'm interested and also sort of nervous by the idea. I mean, I feel like I try to do things with confidence, but...
So these little leaves at the top do tend to be less stingy. I mean, I can't guarantee no sting. Oh, there you go.
I survived.
You did. Yeah, give it a crude crush, like till it's like juicy there, and you can eat that just as it is. I actually love it like that. And I promise you won't get a sting in your mouth.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fruity,
isn't it?
sweet,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Grassy.
subtle, a little grassy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh no.
Oh, it's like that nettle stuck.
Oh dear.
I'm good. Of all the things we do, it was the tiny leaf that got me.
Yes, taken down.
After 8 days and 1,600 kilometers of travel, we're back with Keith in the Boyne Valley. Just a wee bit tired.
Hey.
Well, how you doing?
Good, man.
How's your trip?
Epic.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
We We know not to ask Keith what is Irish food, and we know that our special ingredients will tell that story better than anyone. Pulled straight from the earth and sea, local and seasonal and loaded with this region's rich history. Driven by a creative community that honors its Irish past, while pushing things forward with global influences and endless creativity. What is Irish food? Grab a fork. Join us. Let's find out.
That's what you want to see, isn't it? Like Francis Malman picking everything up with your hands. Potatoes. Over here, these McNally spring greens with wild garlic that Josh and Claire foraged in Belfast. Big green salad from McNally's. There's a beer cheese with the West Kerry beer.
Thank you, Chef.
We've got some crab that you guys picked up with.
Dig in. Fade out. Fade to black, brother.